Name 4 places to buy used furniture. Katie, I think Katie got the upper hand on that one. Go for it, Katie. Name 4 places to buy used furniture.
Thrift store, a antique shop, an auction, or marketplace on Facebook.
I am really sorry about that. I told you.
I was like, well, she's wrong. I quit.
Listen, I told you guys I wasn't good at multitasking. I hit the wrong button. Katie's like, I am out of here. I am not playing this game. This is just not fair.
Yeah, tough crowd.
It's nice to laugh, isn't it? Well, I think you will enjoy today's show on many levels, not just for some laughter, but also for information and insight. We'll start with our Ask a Refinisher segment, and we'll feature Kristen with Shackteau Interiors as she answers 3 questions in a 2-part series. Today, we'll feature part 1. We'll hear a refinishing tip from Susan with Little Lou Designs on hardware installation. And then cap off the show with the Furniture Feud with the judges of the Zibra review as our contestants. And our game show topic will be, how well do you know the furniture refinishing industry? And as always, stay tuned to the end for a few noteworthy items in our newsworthy segment. I'm your Zibra host, Lane Ball. Welcome to Zibra's Before and After. Our Ask a Refinisher question today is for Kristen with Shackteau Interiors. Kristen is an accomplished refinisher and owns her own brand of milk paint. She is also known on Instagram for her highly anticipated stories each morning that include her greeting, "Good morning, friends." Welcome, Kristen.
Hi, Lane. Nice to be here.
Listen, you are one busy entrepreneur, from refinishing furniture, running your own brand of milk paint, and now a shop owner. So how's it going with your new shop?
I know. I've been extremely busy and happy and grateful, and business is going well. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a lot more work, but, it's totally worth it.
Now, are you enjoying driving to work instead of walking to work?
Well, my commute is precisely 2 minutes. So,
So you could really walk.
I really can't. It is part of my normal walking route. So, yes, it's definitely walking distance. So, I definitely don't mind the commute. And it's right near the beach, too. So, that helps.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh la la. Listen, but you can still refinish at home. Do you still have your shop at home?
I do. I thought that I could do that, but what happened was, now that I have more space, I've been collecting more pieces to finish. So right now, my old space is pretty jam-packed full of projects. So hopefully, if I can catch up with what I have, I could clear out a little space to work in there, or even, maybe, but I'm not, 100% sure, I could possibly give my husband a little space to, have a little workshop out there or something. But I told him not to hold his breath.
Don't count on it.
Don't count on it.
Well, I mean, if you're that close, honestly, I guess, and you've got tools and all those kinds of things, you got to set up, at your shop. It probably makes sense just to go there. But that's great. I'm so excited for you. It's really been fun watching you, move from your shop from your home shop to the shop in town there, and to see the progress. It's exciting to see refinishers grow and kind of fulfill their dreams to have their own places. So that's neat.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a long time coming. I really feel like I put my time in. I'm going on 8 or 9 years, and like I said before, that I started in my living room. So it's like, I'm happy that I would keep growing, and I'm really happy with the space. So I'm really happy I have air conditioning.
Yes. I guess next up is a huge warehouse where you're overseeing multiple workers refinish pieces, right?
Oh yeah, that would be the next step for sure.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so you've received a question from a friend of yours. Her name is Molly. She's starting her own furniture refinishing side business. And as a frequent guest on our podcast, Kristen, you thought this would be a great one to answer in our Ask a Refinisher segment, and you are definitely right. By the way, this will be a two-part series as we will answer two of our questions this week and our third question next week. So today's questions are, and I love this question, it makes me chuckle. What are some telltale signs of an amateur furniture painter? And I know everyone starting will want to avoid these. And then the second question is, which goes well with the first question, of course, is what do you look at for a quality finish?
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're both really great questions. And I guess the first thing I would say is when you're looking at a piece and you see that there's the tannins bleeding through in the wood, especially when people use a chalk paint or something like that, they don't think because it's advertised as kind of a, one-step shot here, you just put a coat of chalk paint on
Mm-hmm.
and you're good. But a lot of the times you really need to prime, clean the piece, lightly sand it, prime it, or put a good sailor on it, especially if you're using whites. So, a lot of the times you'll see that, and that's another question I get a lot as well, is how to block that bleed through from coming through on the lighter pieces. Another thing I see a lot is brush marks. A lot of people, and I tell them all the time, you have to use a quality paintbrush. When
Amen.
people, and when people come in the shop and they buy the milk paint, and I ask them, do you have a good paintbrush? Because a lot of people will go to the dollar store or whatever and they don't think it's important. And of course, I
Mm-hmm.
carry the Zibra brushes in my shop. So I, tell them that you really need to use a quality brush and it will just make the finish that much nicer and your job a lot easier because of all the Zebra specialty brushes in the lineup. So those are a couple, I would say. And also using, like a cheap paint. It's always worth spending a little extra money on a quality paint. Let's see, what else? I would say sometimes you see people painting furniture with the hardware on and they just paint right over the hardware. That's an amateur move. So also for a quality smooth finish, I would just make sure there's no dirt or debris in the paint. You really want to clean the piece when you're painting it. There's nothing worse than little particles stuck to the paint. And also look at the top coat and see. Sometimes I've seen pieces, specifically white, because white's really tough to do right. I've seen people use like a oil based poly over white paint and that just yellows it. So that's kind
Mm-hmm.
of like an amateur move. So I think, for a quality finish, you don't want brush strokes. You want a nice even fit finish, no dust or, particles in the paint. And obviously proper prep work and priming and a good quality top coat. And besides just the actual painting technique itself, I would say pricing is a big thing. And this was always kind of an issue when I was, starting out and pricing on Facebook Marketplace, and over time you get better and you know more and you see people pricing their pieces extremely low,
Mm-hmm.
so that to me tells me, all right, this person's definitely just starting out, even if it's looks really nice and I don't think they're valuing their work as much as, they're not pricing it
Mm-hmm.
properly. So that's another thing I was thinking of. You got to value the work and the time you put into it. So I think pricing's a big deal when you're starting out.
Yeah, maybe there's a correlation here because, some of the things that you mentioned that are evident in an amateur painter sounds like it's really evolves around the idea of not being patient to take all the steps into consideration from the prepping and the cleaning and even removing the hardware. And maybe maybe that would lead obviously to cheaper prices, right? Because they're whipping them out so fast, but the quality just isn't there.
Yeah, and then if you see people doing that and they're pricing things low, and And then you have other people that do quality work and, have higher prices. People, ask, well, why are you asking this much money when so and so has this nice dresser and they're only asking, a third of the price or something, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes just seeing things in pictures, it's really, you really can't tell unless you see it in person. So yeah, so the pricing, I think, for someone, that's just going to do a coat of chalk paint. I mean, you see it all the time on Facebook Marketplace for sure.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen it as well, and we've run by it at antique booths sometimes, and you get up at it. And I think sometimes as well, people try to just say, well, it's a special technique that I'm using, the streaks.
Yeah, no
But it
excuses.
really is. That's right, no excuses. So it's just really about taking the time and being patient and learning the process as well. And these types of questions that we have here on the podcast, I think, will help bring insight. We know that that will certainly help Molly and others. Well, thanks, Kristen, for taking the time to join us today. Your insight is always so helpful. Listeners, stay tuned for next week's segment where Kristen answers the final question from her friend: what does it take to go to the next level in furniture refinishing? And Kristen can be found on Instagram at Shackteau_Interiors. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/Shackteau Interiors. No underscores there. And then her website is shacktowinteriors.com.
Thank you so much.
If you have a refinishing tip that you would like to share, send me an email at lane@enjoyzebra.com. Put refinishing tip in the subject line and describe the tip in the email. Today's refinishing tip comes from Susan with Little Lou Designs.
Hi, Furniture Refinishers. This is Susan from Little Lou Designs. I am coming to you today with a furniture refinishing tip. This was a hardware trick that my dad taught me a while ago that I had no idea about, but maybe common sense to some people, but it definitely was not to me. It's about installation of new knobs or pulls for your furniture. It can be challenging to keep the hardware lined up perfectly when you're using multiple knobs or putting new hardware on your furniture. So the old tip of measuring twice and cutting once doesn't always apply when dealing with old and sometimes uneven drawers, indoors, etc. So when you drill new holes, always make sure to drill the hole slightly bigger than the screw you're inserting for the knob so it doesn't bind. This allows for a little wiggle room to make fine-tune adjustments once all the drawers are in place. You can move the knobs or handles or pulls up or down a little bit in that extra space provided by the larger drill bit. So as long as your screw has a nice large head on it, as most cabinet knob screws do, this tip should work really well. It definitely allowed me wiggle room at the end to make sure all of the knobs were lined up perfectly, because sometimes even the drawers are off a little bit. Hope that helps. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. Great tip to help with hardware installation. Nothing more frustrating than drilling the holes and finding they are off by even a small distance. If you'd like to learn more about Susan and her work, you can follow her on Instagram at Little Lou Designs. Support for this podcast is made possible by Zibra, makers of the high-end yet affordable line of application-specific paintbrushes. Do you know what makes our brushes so desirable? They feature small diameter filaments that are exclusively designed to pick up and release paint in a controlled flow, leaving your finish as smooth as, well, a baby's bottom. And on top of that, each brush is designed for specific applications in mind. We won't report you, however, if you use a brush designed for one application in another application. That just means you have had so much fun painting you can't stop. Seriously, we do hope you enjoy using Zebra paintbrushes. We have designed them to be an extension of your hand so that every artful stroke of your hand leaves down the exact finish you desire. Enjoyable painting means enjoyable results. Today's contestants on the Furniture Feud are the judging panel for our monthly Zebra review. That means this is the first game show that will include 4 contestants. Our first contestant and judge is from the state of Iowa. She is not only a furniture refinisher extraordinaire, who, by the way, has paved the way for many in this industry, but also a candle maker producing one of the finest lines of candles in the U.S. She is an entrepreneur for sure. Let me introduce you to Katie Cloud of Katie and Company. Welcome, Katie.
Thanks, Lane. Woo! Happy to be here.
Our second contestant and judge resides in the province of Ontario, Canada. She is an accomplished refinisher and has created some recent buzz and jealousy, I might add, with her new home adventure as she and her husband will be fixing up a beautiful older home on a nice piece of land. Yes, it's quite beautiful indeed. Let me introduce you to Keegan Robinson of Lemon Drops Reclaimed. Welcome, Keegan, and congratulations, by the way.
Hi, thank you. Go Canada!
Yeah.
Our third contestant and judge lives in Cheesehead country. Yes, that is Packer territory up in the great state of Wisconsin. She refinishes furniture and is quite good at it and runs a studio shop where she sells her furniture and really cool vintage things like this bronze sprinting rabbit. Actually, I think you sold out of that, I believe.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to Lauren Swachina of Portland Rose Studio. Welcome, Lauren.
Thank you. Hello. Go back.
All right, our fourth contestant and judge was in Minnesota and is now in Idaho. She refinishes furniture with the same speed of a factory, yet the quality of her work does not suffer. She is top-notch. She also produces invaluable how-tos like how to ship your furniture. She is an inspiration to many. Let me introduce you to Natalie Dayton of A Ray of Sunlight. Welcome, Natalie.
Hey, thanks for the awesome intro.
Hopefully everybody was pleased with their intros today.
Quite the upsell.
All right. Contestants, are you all ready to play the Furniture Feud?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. We've got an enthusiastic group here, so we'll have a lot of fun. All right. We must note that because we are dealing with sound and not sight, it's extremely important that you have your sound maker ready for each of the game questions. Listeners, each of the contestants were asked to find a sound maker that would identify who they are. It will be my job, and a tough one, I might add, to keep track of what noise goes with each contestant. Actually, even though I know this has to be a competitive group, there is great respect for each other. So I'll need honesty here. So if you hear who was first, just help me and help each other, okay?
You got
Sounds good.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Okay. When I call your name, sound your sound. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Katie. All righty. That is interesting. I believe that's a dog toy.
That is a dog toy.
So did you take this away from one of your dogs, and are they okay with it?
It is definitely dirty. And yeah, she's sitting outside the door, probably confused about why her toy is making noise without her.
Yeah. While you're playing it by yourself, not with her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Keegan. Wow. Are you coaching on the side, Keegan?
Yep. That might be mixed in with a few toddler noises.
Okay. Sounds good. Lauren. Ooh.
I startled myself. Party!
That is definitely a sound maker for sure. Can you describe that for us?
Yes. This is a rubber chicken.
Okay.
A little story behind it. It was my aunt gave it to me when she handed off hosting Thanksgiving for like 25 years, and she couldn't find a rubber turkey. So this is the symbolic passing of the turkey, but it's a chicken.
Oh, okay. Well, you just make sure you take good care of it in this game, okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Good story. All right, Natalie. Oh, I like it. Hey, you can showcase your musical talents. Just don't get carried away and forget answer to the question, okay? By the way, who plays the harmonica in your home?
My kids.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
It's one of their many annoying toys, but for some reason, this is the only annoying toy that I could find.
Gotcha. Well, today's game topic is how well do you know the furniture refinishing industry? And you know what? Because you guys are judges and experts at refinishing, we thought we would just throw that topic in there as a little pressure, okay? No pressure at all here. We're here to have fun. I will be asking 12 questions and a bonus question or two that evolve around the furniture refinishing business, and of course, a few random unrelated questions intermingled for fun. Once I ask the question, then you're free to make your noise, and the first person I hear will get called on to answer the question. A quick warning here, if you make your sound before I finish the question, well, you'll be disqualified for that question, okay? If you get the question right, you get 5 points. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins the game. In case you all make your noises at the same time, and I can't tell who chimed in first, I have your names in a bowl, and I will draw out your names to see who will answer. Now, that is only if you guys can't help me figure out who chimed in first, okay? All right. Little disclaimer here. Remember, as I always say, be patient with me. I'm not the best multitasker. And as mentioned earlier, this is the first time we've had 4 contestants at once on this show. So please pray for me, okay?
You'll do fine.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you
all
got
that.
this.
Okay, good. All right. Okay. Question number 1. You guys ready?
Yep.
Ready.
Think so.
Okay. Name 4 places to buy used furniture. Katie, I think Katie got the upper hand on that one. Go for it, Katie. Name 4 places to buy used furniture?
Thrift store, a antique shop, an auction, or marketplace on Facebook.
I am really sorry about that.
I was like, well, she's
I
wrong.
told
I
you.
quit. 'Cause
we better.
Listen, I told you guys I wasn't good at multitasking. I hit the wrong button. I think Katie's like, I am out of here. I am not playing this game. This is just not fair.
Yeah, tough crowd. Tough crowd.
All right. Well, definitely game on, Katie. That was you were at the task on that, and you actually got 5 points.
Oh yeah, cool.
Woohoo. Boo.
Someone's competitive. Who was
No, I
that?
think that's the only question I'm going to know the answer to. So I really am salty now.
No.
Oh me, no, you'll get some of these others. Hang in there. That was just question number 1. So question number 2. White furniture is commonly seen in the furniture refinishing community. What are the main characteristics of this style? Katie jumped it again, man. Katie, you are on it. Go ahead and tell us.
White furniture it's very simple, smooth. There's not a lot of weird curvy angles. Usually the drawer fronts are flat or just kind of bowed. They have an oval brass metal pole with most of them have all different designs. It's kind of hard to see the same one twice. Usually mahogany, and there's lots of bleed through when you paint them usually.
Yes.
Okay, so Katie, is that your answer?
That's the best I'm gonna do. Yep.
All right, I just had to throw that in. Doesn't a host say that in one of the game shows? Is that your final answer?
Final
or something
answer.
Like that? Yeah, I don't recall which game show that was, but I just felt
Who
like
wants
saying
to
that.
be a
Probably Who
millionaire?
Wants to Be a Millionaire. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, Katie gets another 5 points. Question number 3. For our listeners, the day of this recording is July 22nd. Okay, for this question, it was necessary to provide that date. Here is the question, and it's multiple choice. Our British friends and royal fans will appreciate it. Which British royal has a birthday today? A, Prince Kevin. B, Prince William. C, Prince George. Or D, Prince Anne. Lauren, man, she was on that one.
Prince George.
Wow.
Are you a royal fan?
No, I saw a 10-minute clip of the Today Show this morning, and that happened to be the one thing they were talking about.
I thought for sure somebody was going to get A, Prince Kevin. I guess
Who
not.
is that?
Right? I don't know. We just made him up.
Okay.
We had to throw a curveball in there. Actually, Prince George, just for everybody's information, he's 7 today, and he's 3rd in line to the throne. I have to give a shout out to my 14-year-old daughter. She is a royal fan, and she provided that question. So good job, all of you.
Cool.
Okay, so we're going to just take a quick pause because I want to do a score tally here. We've only had 3 questions, and I'm having to do a score tally.
10-5, Katie to me.
And Lauren
Man.
thought she wasn't going to get any
I know.
questions.
Listen,
Well,
I should have. Lauren should have been the scorekeeper. Of course, that wouldn't have been fair, right? So. All right. So for our listeners, just to keep you up to date on the score, Katie has 10 points and Lauren has 5. So we've got a ways to go. So we still have lots of opportunity here. Okay. Question number 4. Name 3 ways you can repurpose a dresser. Lauren.
you could turn it into a buffet. You could turn it into a bookshelf, or you could turn it into a changing table.
Wow.
I got
very
nervous.
good.
I only had one in mind when I did it.
It's kind of a cool question because when you take a dresser, I mean, there's a multitude of different options, aren't there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Question number 5. This is a multiple choice question. When was the Art Deco furniture most popular? A, 1920s through the 1930s. B, 1940s through the 1950s. C, 1960s through the 1970s. Or D, none of the above. Lauren.
I think A.
Yes. Very good.
Woo-hoo.
1920s
Oh,
through the
good.
1930s. So Lauren gets another 5 points. All right, question number 6. You guys will love this question. The question is, who played Dorothy in the 1939 movie The Wizard of Oz?
I know her name.
Oh, shoot. No.
Lauren.
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God. I just had it. No. Oh, my best friend's going to kill me. It's his favorite movie.
It's like right on the tip of my tongue, too. I know it.
I was going to say the wrong name. No.
Can we use Google?
No, Google.
Rat. I'm going to have to pass, and I'm going to never hear the end of this. I was going to say Julie Andrews, which is not right because it's that other one. Okay, I don't know. I pass.
I'm sorry. I haven't been able to use that yet. So.
I'm
wanted to use
gonna
the buzzer.
hate myself. I'm gonna kick myself too because it's right there.
Does anybody else know the answer to this question?
I have
man.
no idea.
I keep thinking Glenda, but she's the good witch. I can't remember
It's
either.
the actress who played Dorothy in the movie. Okay. You guys want me to share the answer?
No, I don't. So, hold on. Because
You know it's there,
yeah.
don't you?
Yes.
Isn't that frustrating?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. The name is Judy Garland.
Judy Garland. See, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to say this question gets a shout out to my 9-year-old daughter. She loves The Wizard of Oz, and she provided this question. So,
Oh,
Oh.
all right. Question number 7.
Judy
What is
Garland.
a glass front cabinet that is typically used in a dining room called? Katie.
Oh,
China cabinet?
Sorry for the delay, but yes, you got that one right. Well, just to give our listeners an update, and actually the judges, we're actually at a tie right now between Katie and Lauren. Katie's got 15 and Lauren has 15 as well.
Oh, it's all Judy Garland's fault.
Judy
and
Garland.
Keegan and Natalie are actually at a tie too, so everybody feels great right now. And we did not have any idea, Lauren, that this Judy Garland was going to stump you the way it did.
Seriously, I will never hear the end of this. You have no idea. That was a really big ball drop for me. So I'm a music theater girl.
You.
This is, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, you're going to be distracted throughout the rest of the game.
Yep.
Okay, question number 8. What is a Chesser? Keegan.
A chest and a dresser mixed together.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
I was gonna say
You
the
know,
cat from Wizard of Oz, yeah. Or no, Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland.
now,
Chester
okay,
cat.
so I just have to say, when our quote unquote researchers came up with this question, I looked at it and said, I've never heard of this before.
The
Now, are you
Chester.
guys all
Yeah.
familiar with the Chesser?
Nope.
No.
Never heard it called that. Nope.
To be honest, I
Okay.
thought that you were talking about when people misspell chest of drawers
Chester.
and
So
they
that was
say
going to be your
Chester.
Well, that would have been a good guess. And honestly, I'd never heard of that. But then I'm not the expert like you guys are. But Keegan definitely got that one. So good job, Keegan.
Well, thanks.
Question number 9. Which Zebra paintbrush has a uniquely shaped handle that is designed to be an extension of your hand, and many refinishers say is the perfect brush for painting milk paint?
Oh,
Oh man, I'm really bad at this one. I have absolutely no idea. So was Lauren? Was that
yes, I'm disqualified.
why?
I thought you were
think
done, and I jumped the gun.
no, I didn't hear you. I was done when I said for painting milk paint. So you're
Oh,
okay. Yeah,
okay.
you're fine. But I heard so many sounds all at once in my head. I was like, okay, I have no idea. Okay.
Multitasking.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lauren.
The Palm Pro.
You got it. Very good.
Yeah.
She knows her zebra brushes. Very good.
Know 'em and love 'em.
Yeah.
I should give you some bonus points for that one. All right. Question number 10. What is a low boy? Keegan.
A low dresser.
Okay. A low dresser. I'm giving you that one just because it's a play on words. I had written down a smaller style dresser. We'll give her that one. That's just another way to say it. Very good, Keegan. Question number 11. What is now a popular and common way to repurpose an antique vanity or dressing table? Natalie.
Woohoo! Finally. Into some nightstands.
I'm so sorry. I'm not purposely trying to create suspense.
The one time I actually got it and I almost lost it.
Oh, that was good. Question number 12. Okay, this one was provided by my 17-year-old son. He is a jazz enthusiast, so that's a bit of a clue there. His question, it's a multiple choice, so if you don't know the answer, you can pretend you know all about jazz. What is the top-selling jazz album of all time? A, Time Out by Dave Brubeck. B, Blue Train by John Coltrane. C, Kind of Blue by Miles Davis. Or D, Jazz Season by the Jazzsters. Oh dear. Which one? Who went?
I did with the chicken.
Okay,
I
so,
did too.
Okay, so who was first? Was
I
it the
don't know.
chicken?
I don't know. I think it was. I couldn't hear. I got echoes, so I can't tell.
I heard the other one a few seconds after, but I'm just guessing. So
Yeah, I
don't
just
know.
heard echoes. I couldn't.
Okay.
Go ahead,
So I
Lauren.
think it was Lauren.
Okay, I'm totally guessing, and I'm gonna go with B. I don't even remember what B was.
B
Coltrane?
was Blue
Miles
Train by
Davis?
John Coltrane. I'm sorry.
That's
I
okay.
can't believe you didn't guess D, Jazz Season by the Jazzsters.
Yeah, no.
Is that just
no,
too
didn't
obvious?
think so. Yeah.
Actually, the answer was C, Kind of Blue by Miles Davis, but that was a good guess.
Who did Take 5? Was that Brubeck?
Time Out was by Dave Brubeck, yes. But the
Right.
song on that album was Take 5.
Take 5.
And it's
okay.
on the Takeout by Dave Brubeck, yep. Okay, so a quick score tally for you listeners and for the judges that are our contestants. Katie has 15, Keegan has 10, Lauren has 20, and Natalie has 5. So we all have points, except for me, of course. And it looks like Lauren is in the lead right now. So we do have a bonus question. And this is pretty exciting because the bonus question is worth 10 points. So if you answer it correctly, you get the 10 points. But It's -5 points if you get it wrong. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. So think carefully before answering this bonus question. The question is, when you see that square nails were used in a piece of furniture, does that mean the piece is antique or vintage? Katie, I think you squeezed out on this one. You've got the opportunity. What's the answer to this question?
Antique.
You got it. Now,
Woo!
just for those of us who need some explanation here, I'll give you this just because I think this is pretty interesting. So antique, because square nails were used over 100 years ago. And of course, antique refers to something that is over 100 years ago. It's sort of interesting with antique versus vintage. Something that is vintage refers to something that is from an earlier generation. So it doesn't have to be 100 years old. So I thought that was kind of an interesting bit of information. Okay, so let me do another quick pause. Shouldn't have to have a pause to do this sort of math, should I?
Katie won.
Lauren, that just didn't sound very exciting.
It's weird to
All
me
right.
to think like antiques are 100 years old. Like now Art Deco stuff is like antique, and that's weird because it doesn't seem like
Yeah.
it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think Art Deco went back that far. I was thinking it was like maybe 80s. I didn't realize it was 20s.
It's like Great Gatsby.
I guess 80s
Yeah.
isn't that long ago either.
Like that piece that I have with the crazy legs, the like really really tall one that's like
Mm-hmm.
80% leg. That's Art
Yeah,
Deco.
the dresser, like chest on the tall
The
legs.
gray on top, and then yeah.
Yeah.
So is Art Deco, the waterfall
Yeah.
style dressers, is that
Yeah.
considered Art Deco? Yeah, okay. See, I didn't think those were that
that's
old.
like, it doesn't seem like it. That's why it's weird to think those are going to be antiques. Like, I guess if they were, what was it, 20s and 30s? Is that Art Deco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now that stuff is becoming antique, which is weird to me.
Yeah, totally agree.
I think that's part of being in a new century too, because I mean, I was talking with my kids the other night and we were talking about when we went from 1999 to the year 2000, and there was a lot of hype about what's going to happen when we go from 99 to 2000. Our computer's going to shut down. Everything's run electronically. And so what's going to happen? And it was weird because when we were talking about it, I was like, my gosh, that was 20 years ago. It's weird when you say the year 2000 that was 20 years ago. So I don't know. Time is that
Yeah.
way. And especially when you think about the 1920s and 30s, I mean, that's 100 years. That's just crazy, isn't it?
That's crazy.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's the game scores. Our winner is Katie with 25 points. Then we have Keegan with 10, Lauren with 20, and Natalie with 5. Listen, all of you guys did really, really well. And I know sometimes it's a bit of a challenge, and when you play a game through audio where you have no visuals and you can't see one another, but you guys did exceptionally well. Congratulations, Katie. You receive our new 2.5-inch angled sash brush and one of our new aprons. And
Yay!
Ooh.
yeah, Keegan, Lauren, and Natalie, each of you receive a new apron as well.
Aw,
So we want
thank
to
you.
thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
Yeah, you'll get to choose
Thank
between
you.
the two. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again to all 4 of you for coming on as our furniture refinishing contestants.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
This
us.
is fun.
Thank you for
I
having
think we
us.
need to do a podcast with you guys. Like, we ask you at Zibra the questions.
Hey, that's
Oh,
that'd
see
be
see
fun,
how
yeah.
well you know paint and furniture.
yeah, you know what? Let's see. We'll do that. Let's go ahead and schedule that for 20. Let's see.
When COVID is over, let's just
Yeah.
put that on there.
We'll do that in March of 2022. How's that?
That sounds good.
Listen, if you ask us questions about our brushes, we'll love that, okay?
Well, yeah.
That just wouldn't be fair, would it?
No, that's too easy.
Listen, before we go, though, I want to thank you guys. You guys are a terrific team of judges. I know it's a lot of work judging each month. It's not just a lot of work having to review all the pieces, but it's a lot of work because all the pieces are really exceptional. And it's a tough challenge each month to decide which you feel should receive first, second, and third place. And so it takes time. You guys are very busy. You've got your families, you've got your jobs, multiple jobs in some cases. And then to take this on and do the judging every month. It's neat. And the reason why it's so important is because it's all about promoting one another, and it's about growing this industry together. And so hats off to all four of you for what you've done and what you continue to do.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Pleasure.
Lane.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for continuing to support us.
Yeah, absolutely. We love this community. Well, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too.
You too.
You too.
You too.
Thanks, Lane.
Yeah, thanks.
Our podcast is now up on YouTube. Simply type in the YouTube search window, Enjoy Zibra. Make sure you spell Zebra with an I. You'll not only hear today's podcast, but you can also see any related images to our topic along with the artist. Our channel also provides you with several how-tos and project inspirations available to enjoy. Please subscribe as we continue to grow this channel. The Zibra Review July 2020 theme of Colors of Your Country is open for entries until July 31st, 2020. The community of refinishers is global. It's international. We thought it would be fun to have you paint your contest entry pieces in at least one color that represents your country's colors. It can also be a multicolored piece if you want to paint it in all the colors of your flag. Use the hashtag #TheZibraReview and you'll have your piece before our judging panel as they will choose 3 winners. Great prizes await the winners from Shackteau Interiors Milk Paint, The Lawless Hardware, Surf Prep Sanding, and Zebra Paint Brushes. All pieces refinished from January 2020 to July 31st, 2020 are eligible for entry. Time is running out, only a few days left depending on when you're listening to the show. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Zibra Blogs Before and After Furniture Refinishing podcast. Today's episode is also featured on the zebrablog.com along with contact information for today's guest. Your comments and suggestions for future episodes are always welcome, and we encourage you to share those by clicking on the podcast slide in our header at thezebrablog.com. That's zebra with an I blog.com. Thanks for listening. Stay safe and happy refinishing.